What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the wacky world of the Waddell family. And this is Richie Rich, helping you live a life you love. I'm going to talk to you today about our trip we took in our RV. It's actually set up out back of our shop right now. We're going to take you inside. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you about how, or the things that you have to come into when you begin to follow your dreams and go after your goals. I want to tell you about our trip. We got this RV as we began to set up to go to Las Vegas in a trip. Little backstory: I had competed in the Fitness Atlantic and won in the Transformation Division, one of the top 5 qualifying slots to go to Las Vegas to compete at the Worlds in the Transformation Division. So the first trip to Connecticut, we had spent so much money on hotels. We decided that this second trip, we're going to Las Vegas. We were also going to try to do 2 things at once, which was begin to release our Rich Curls Curl Cream, and also, so in doing that, you're going to stop at a lot of cities along the way. So we had a route planned there on the way, and then on the way back up north on the way down south. So we're going all the way to Vegas from Tennessee. We chose this RV because we knew we were going to spend so much more money on hotels on this trip because we had a lot farther to go. The girls had this thing a mess right now. The little toys laying around everywhere, and their little blankets in here. They've had some friends over, and this is all a mess. But this is where we stayed for, gosh, 2-3 weeks on this little journey, and made a lot of memories. But I just want to show you, this was a challenge. When you start stepping into what you feel like you're supposed to do, it's not an easy path. And this is outside East Tennessee here, back of our shop. It's beautiful if it's not foggy and cold in the middle of December. But anyway, we are just going to talk a little bit, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about what happened in our experience. Okay, so we're setting up for this trip, and everything comes against you that possibly can when you're doing something that's going to be effective or very purposeful in your life. So you might as well expect it. Take it from me. In several different things that I've done, I'm telling you, you're going to face challenges, especially when you start stepping out and trying to do things that's going to affect other people as well. So on this trip, we get started out, and by the end, I feel like it's, the National Lampoons, and I'm Chevy Chase, and we've been on this wild, crazy adventure. But, along the way, we tried to keep a good attitude and stay positive. Turn a little light on so you could see me a little bit better. But so we start out on this journey in this RV, and the first thing that really happened was completely my fault. And looking back on it now, I feel so stupid that it happened. But we got this RV and we took it out on a test run, just to make sure that everything's functioning right. We're just going to spend a weekend in Knoxville. We may have just spent one night. So we go up at the campground, set up, and this is the first time I've bought a new RV. I did not realize that the whole system had been set up with antifreeze. It wasn't empty. It was just set up with antifreeze. So you're actually supposed to flush the system. And when we picked this RV up, it's a travel trailer. The guy went over everything very fast. And, in the beginning, he said a lot of people actually choose to video this. And I understand why now, because more than likely he went over flushing the antifreeze out. But apparently that was one that I missed. So we set up for our little test run in Knoxville. And we're setting up to play cards that night or something, and whatever reason, I was very thirsty, and we go and start getting some water out of the tap. We've hooked it up to the RV campsite's water. So, we taste it. Everybody tastes a little bit of it, and they're like, this tastes just a little bit funny. And Jessica and the girls, they didn't drink anymore, but I was like, I'm very thirsty. I had some flavored water flavor enhancer, and I used some of that and drank probably about a gallon of that water through the next few hours at that night, not really realizing that that taste was antifreeze. Thank God it was non-toxic, but still, the amount that I drank really affected my system. So I'm getting ready to leave to go compete in Las Vegas at a show, and it is the transformation division with the WBFF, and I drink this antifreeze, and it completely destroys my system. I'm talking stomach issues, anything you can think of, from pain to gas, everything you can possibly think of as far as your stomach being messed up happened to me. And so this is occurring, and we're getting ready to leave on this 2-week trip to multitask and get ready for a show, and also try to promote the product. So keep in mind, I've been dieting for several weeks, so I'm at the end of prep, competition prep. I am tired. I am now leaving a facility that I'm used to doing my workouts in. I'm having to go to new facilities every day, put together routines, and do this all with no appetite, being completely sick. It was one of the worst experiences as far as how I felt in my life. And I think that when I look back at everything and the research that I've done, I think that literally it killed the bacteria or the digestive enzymes in my tract, because it just seemed as though food wasn't digesting or processing, and it was just sitting in my system and causing a lot of problems. The gas and stuff, I began to get sulfur burps, which is just a sign that you're not digesting food and it's just sitting in your digestive tract. So, I'm doing everything I can. I began to obviously take in some probiotic enzymes and different things to get my digestive tract working. And I was fine after a couple weeks, but during this prep time, it just happened to be right before we started out on this trip. So, generally, I take care of the RV for the most part and keep everything in working order. And, I make sure that Jessica knows how to do everything. But for the most part, I unplug and plug up the RV and the generator and set up and break down everything. And I had specifically done the generator several times. I've showed her how to do it. But one day at the beginning of this trip, I don't even remember where we were at. We may not have even been out of Tennessee yet. But I'm very sick. I'm usually very cautious and safe as far as not letting anybody ride back here in the RV when we're traveling. But today I was so sick, I told Jessica, "Can you drive? And I'm going to lay down." It was just to that point that I didn't care about the safety of being back here. I was sick. I needed to lay down. I don't care. At that point, you don't care if you die. It's just, I don't want to stop feeling this way. I'm going in the back. We get over here. I told her, she's going to lock me in the RV. So this door, we lock the door for traveling, so it doesn't come open. Safety reasons. It's the way it's designed to be traveled. And so she's getting ready to lock me in. We realize the generator's still running. And I said, we got to go back there and unplug it. She goes, "I got it." And, I had showed her several times. And so she locks the door. She walks around there. She turns the generator off, but she forgot to unplug it. So it's still plugged in. And the generator is actually mounted on the back of the RV. So there's a little shelf that it mounts on. Connects to the bumper. So we get down the road. The RV is still plugged into the generator, which is attached to the back of the bumper. And as we're driving, not very long had we been on the interstate, I hear this big rig. Man, he's coming up next to us. And I could tell, even though I couldn't see him, I could hear his engine, and he was really getting on this engine. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, what's going on? Why is this guy driving like this? Is he messing with Jessica? What is he doing?" So I could tell there was something abnormal about the way he's driving. Anyway, so he gets right up next to Jessica and he starts blowing his horn, and I'm like, "Oh no." something's going on, and immediately Jessica hits her brakes and pulls over off the median. So I knew something bad was going on. Of course, I can't get out. I see her, or I hear her, open the vehicle door, hop out, come back around, say some choice words, and then at that point I'm like, oh no, something's definitely going on. It's not the guy, it's something with our RV, and he was driving up there to warn us. So what happened was the generator cord, or the cord had come attached, unplugged from the generator, and was dragging, flopping behind the RV. And the guy in the truck was coming up to tell Jessica, your cord is dragging. Well, the cord dragging like that, even though it didn't happen, it wasn't hardly a mile that we had driven, maybe 2. The cord, it was completely bare all the way down into the wire, so this is not going to be usable again, just for safety reasons. We did have, the warranty and everything on the RV, and we also had Good Sam insurance travel, just in case something like this happens. They take care of you. So we call to schedule to get the electric cord fixed where we were at. And we could not get anything available. Oh, we're booked up for a month. We're booked up for a month and a half, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Are you kidding me? So we call city after city after city, and finally we find a place in Las Vegas and that is able to do it. And the guy had a 2-week waiting period in the beginning, but I told him, I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks. I have no way to plug in anywhere. I have no air conditioning. I've got kids. We're in Vegas. It's 100-degree weather. You got to help me out. So they did. I did talk the guy into changing out the cord at the RV place. He moved us ahead, got our cord changed out for us, and we just paid for it. So we got all of that taken care of, and so many other things happened. This is only beginning, let me tell you. So we got the air conditioner working, but in the meantime, it's taken us several days. 3-4 days we went without air conditioning. We're in the heat. I remember at times waking up in the middle of the night and being here in the bed alone. Jessica's outside with the car running and the air conditioner on, and she's got the kids in there. And being so hot coming in here and thank God the freezer still worked. It ran off the propane. So I came in here and got a couple of frozen water bottles and slept with those laying against my body. I'm telling you, that was miserable. And you got all these other things going on. So I'm sick. I can't digest food. I don't need to eat, but very specific things anyway, getting ready for the show. Somehow I got to find the energy to go work out. And now I'm in air conditioning, or now I'm in an RV that has no air conditioning. So amongst all of that, we somehow get to Las Vegas. We get ready, we get set up at our campground, and I get ready to go to a mandatory meeting. Notice I say mandatory. And I have my dress clothes on, ready to go, get everything unhooked from the RV expedition, leaving to go to the meeting. On the way to the meeting, are you kidding me? My alternator in my expedition begins to go out. Yeah. It's a 2005, so it's got some years on it. It's time for the alternator to go. But right now, when I'm going to this mandatory, on this trip, are you kidding me? So I want to tell you, you're going to experience that there's going to be thing after thing after thing come against you, and I want it to encourage you. You're going to expect it. You're going to know that when you're following after your goals and dreams, it's not going to be an easy task. As a matter of fact, the more corrective a path or effective of a path that you've chosen to be on and that you're accomplishing, the more that you're going to have things come against you. I'm going to tell you, the more people that you're affecting, you might as well go ahead and plan on a fight. But you're a warrior, and you were designed for this. And so on the way to the competition meeting, get the alternator starts going out, and in my head I'm thinking, I can get to the meeting, no. By the time I stopped at this red light and there's an Advance store right up the way, I realize I don't know if I can make it to the Advance store. So I get there, take my alternator out, and in Tennessee, here at the Advance store, if something goes on and you're working on your car, they have tools you can use. You can borrow them, you can use them one at a time and bring them back. It's not the way it is in Vegas. I had to stand in line 30-40 minutes waiting to get to the cash register. When I got to the cash register, bought my alternator and had to beg this guy, basically give him my leg before I could walk out of there with a wrench. And so I talked this guy into letting me use the wrenches one at a time, and I was able to change my alternator there in the parking lot and completely destroy my dress clothes. I get everything back together, connected, and go in to get a battery pack to jump off my Expedition. They have 4 battery packs, 3 of which are very small, 1 of which is large enough to handle my Expedition. Guess what? It is completely drained. No, it's not charged. The other 3, perfectly charged, glowing green, ready to use, good to go. Mine, red. Not enough power. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I eventually get a long pair of jumper cables. It's like 30-foot jumper cables, and I spend the next 3 hours, 3 hours, talking to people, trying to get them to let me use their vehicle to jump off my car. I don't need but just a second. If I could have on video the stories that I heard over the course of those 3 hours, I can't even remember some of the best ones. The lady hops out of her car, and I ask her if I can use a jump just to say, "Oh, honey, my battery has had it. There's no way we can use it for that today." And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I hear excuse after excuse. Finally, after 3 hours, somebody lets me, in 30 seconds, jump off my Expedition. So thank God for that gentleman and his girlfriend that day. And I was able to get my car going back over. I show up back at the RV park. Of course, they still have no air conditioning at this point, at the mandatory meeting. This is before we actually got the AC fixed. So the girls are all at the pool. They're swimming, just trying to stay cool. And of course, Jessica sees me show up, head to toe, black, like a grease monkey stuff. I mean, there's nothing in, no part of my wardrobe is able to be saved. It's trash. So at that point, everything is just completely frustrating. You try to get through these things one at a time, but they start to pile up. And I'm going to tell you, sometimes you feel like you've hit a breaking point, but just hold on and just keep going. And you know what? The whole trip was kind of that way. It didn't let up. From incident after incident after incident to miscalculating our funds on the trip substantially, to several other just small little things or things you can't control, or accidents, or just errors, whatever, or just the luck of the draw. All kinds of things happened on this trip. I did at the actual event. I did not place. They only had one winner. And the girl that won it done a fabulous job, and she deserved it. She'd lost quite a bit of weight, I think 150 pounds or so, maybe even more than that, but she looked fabulous, and she deserved it. They didn't have runners-up or a placing or anything like that, so it was one winner, and they had all the guys and girls together, and there was quite a bit of us there. At the Las Vegas show, it was actually all of the winners from all of the other shows during the year competing there at the Worlds. And so, it was a great experience. I met fabulous people there, got to know some great friends, but I'm going to tell you, that story will coincide with any competition that I've been involved in. I can sit here and go over at least 10 different things that's happened to me in other competitions, just freak accidents and injuries and things that are just, the chances of it happening now at this moment is just slim to none. When you start having these things that occur, over and over and over again, you begin to realize, man, this must be valuable. I must be on track. I must be doing something right for there to be a fight like this that I'm going to have to go through in order to accomplish what I want to do. So in the end, when you're going for your goals or dreams or visions, you don't even really know that what you feel is going to happen is going to occur, but you're going to impact people in a way that you can only imagine. I mean, just from when you're walking through a store, the smile on your face is going to impact so many different people there that you can't even understand how many people that you reach on a daily basis and how many people you impact. So, you know, when you're doing something like this, just because you may feel like you're supposed to do it, you may have that right, but the outcome or the goal that you think you're going to reach or supposed to reach may not be what you're going to get out of that. It may be to help somebody else or to learn something along the way for your next project. Did I learn a lot? Yes. I learned a crazy amount. And I also learned, I mean, just dang, persistence, man. Persistence and consistency is so important toward getting to where you want to go and developing those habits to get there. So, I want to ensure you that living the life of chasing after your goals and dreams is one of the most satisfying, exhilarating experiences that you can have. But, however, I want you to know that this is not something like, hey, I have chosen to do what I feel like I'm supposed to do, and now this is going to be an easy road. It's not. You better be ready to fight. But see, there is, like I said earlier, that warrior spirit that's inside of you. And you were designed that way for a purpose. And there's a peace in doing what you're doing, even though it may come with a lot of struggles. There is a lot of rewards. And there's a peace that comes with it that lets you know that, hey, even though I'm fighting, man, it feels good to be in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So many years I spent in my life just not fighting and not trying to do or reach and get to where I wanted or feel like I should be. And that's what we're here for. We're here to show you some tips and tricks that we've learned along the way about living a life that you love. And to me, that's very important. This life is a gift, and nobody, not one person, has ever asked to be born. Before they were born, this is just something that was given to you. And I encourage you to find out uniquely how you were created, that you can give back to society and this world that you're a part of, that you haven't asked to be a part of. And if we all learn how to give back to society and the way that we are designed, this world will be a much better place. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Richie Rich. If you found something of value today, be sure to share it with your friends and family. Smash that subscribe button. You're going to want to stay tuned. We're going to be talking about some crazy cool stuff here on this channel, following the wacky what-else. You're going to learn a lot of what not to do, but you're also going to learn a lot of what to do in order to establish real freedom, financial freedom, and life freedom. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.